You ever have one of those quirks that you don't realize is a quirk until someone else points it out? I have a few, but one of mine showed up over breakfast one morning. I had gotten Chick-fil-A for breakfast, and it had chicken biscuit, hash browns, and a drink. And like I always do, I laid the hash browns out neatly in rows of 3. Then I took the ketchup and put a small, precise squirt on each one. The goal, of course, is perfection. Exactly enough hash browns so the final row has 3 in it. Don't ask me why it's important, it just is. Now, I'm studying to be an engineer, so that probably explains half of this. The other half might be something I haven't been quite diagnosed with, let's just say. Anyways, everything was perfectly arranged. Little rows of 3, ketchup on top of each one, when a coworker stopped to chat. Mid-conversation, they paused, and I could see their eyes drift a little bit past me and down, and they pointed. I'm not sure if I am impressed by the system, jealous I've never done this before, or concerned about your mental state, they said. Probably a mix of all 3. I started to chuckle. I had been eating my hash browns this way for a long time. The comments don't faze me anymore. They asked how long I'd been doing it and if I remembered how it all started. I told them it probably started when the Heinz ketchup released one of those 3-in-1 ketchup packets. You know, the ones where you have to really work to tear off the plastic of them. And I realized I could tear off the end and with one packet, evenly distribute ketchup onto each little hash brown. No dipping, no ketchup puddle, no mental math mid-breakfast. I love ketchup, but I'm also lazy, and I don't want to think that hard before 8 a.m. At this point, they had that classic deer in the headlights look, the one that says, I asked a casual question and accidentally opened a TED Talk. So, why does this all matter? Because this tiny, ridiculous breakfast habit connects to something much bigger. A few days later, another coworker jokingly asked if I could create a time management system tailored just to him. He was laughing, but only halfway. And that's when it clicked. Most of us don't need another productivity system that works for everyone. We need systems that work for us. Custom built, tailor-made, designed around our brains and how they actually function, not how we wish they did. And that started with me understanding that we need to learn our quirks. Your ketchup on your hash brown moments. Being honest enough to know who you are and being comfortable enough to admit it. Because you are uniquely wired on purpose. And yes, that wiring may make you stand out just a little bit. But those same differences also might be your superpowers. Now, to be clear, arranging hash browns is not a superpower, at least not yet. But it is a window into how my brain works. You see, at my core, I'm actually a pretty lazy person, and I say that kind of proudly, but it gets a weird look every time. I even have this phrase at work, laziness equals efficiency. It usually earns me a few eye rolls because on the surface, I don't look lazy. I plan, I prepare, I build systems, I get a lot done. But that's because I'm lazy. Not the kind of lazy that avoids work, but the kind that asks, how do I make sure I only have to do this once? How can I automate this so future me never has to touch it again? Or how do I design this so well that it's almost impossible to mess up? Lazy, but efficient. That same brain that wants ketchup already on every hash brown before the first bite. No interruption, no extra thinking, just a smooth, optimized experience. And here's the bigger idea. People are creatures of habit. How you do one thing is often how you do most things. The way you organize your breakfast might reflect how you organize your work. The way you solve small problems often mirrors how you tackle big ones. If you pay attention, those little quirks aren't random. They're clues. So instead of trying to erase them or force yourself into a system that doesn't fit, what if you studied them? What if you asked, why do I do things this way? What does this reveal about how I think, plan, or create? Because once you understand that, you can stop fighting yourself and start designing your life around who you already are. And honestly, that's way more powerful than perfect, aligned hash browns.